Welcome to the Motivational Maniac Podcast. I am your host, Thando Nkonyana. This is season 8, brand new episode. We continue with one of the pillars of every episode that I currently and also like previously like to look at. I like to call these my current state of mind. This is something that I kind of took from one of my favorite hip hop artists and producers that is in the name of Zoocci Coke Dope. I know that the video might not be in tip top shape due to this being in the late evening, but I'm going to do my utmost best just to make sure that I do reflect on this year. This will be the first ever current state of mind that is on video. I'd just like to thank everyone who has been with us throughout this journey, through the audio journey. We start the video journey as well, just trying to make sure that we start with what we have. I always like to emphasize myself on the fact that at the end of the day, it's not about your what you have, it's actually what you do about what you have. And one of the key pillars of everything that I do, most importantly, is the fact that I like to use the equipment in which I have to my advantage. So this is a moment for me to shout out Mr. Uh, Luvukutwa, who started this journey. This microphone that I use, the mixer, which you might not see, that is off the background at this moment, which is also one of the things that he gifted us just to make sure that we start this journey. And also with everything that we are faced with, we don't take for granted that without the higher power, the one who made us all, you might refer to him as Shiva, God, Velinlange, and there are many ways in which we as people are referring to God, but one of the key important things is not to forget that there is a higher power. You need to just make sure that you are creating and honoring that relationship with Him. The reason why I always love doing my current state of minds is not to forget at the end of the day, as the show of this podcast, the journey is something I like to take into full grip, especially with everything that comes with it. I know there are going to be negative aspects about it, and also there is going to be positive aspects about it. But the most important thing is not to forget why we started this in the first place. The power of us telling our stories, the power of us being the narrators of our stories is also something that we should take into mind. So I'm just going to have to just check if this angle is kind of good at this side. So I do hope you don't mind if I do that. As we come back, I'm sure that there was a bit of parts, but we actually don't mind in sharing these parts with everything that we do. But like where I was, man, I do apologize if you don't see me correctly. And like I said earlier, in the video, I actually apologize that I might not have good lighting, which is something that I should work on. But we're purely working with what we have at the end of the day, because content is really about what you put out there, and also being confident in that. I would kindly appreciate if we could get like suggestions on how we can actually elevate our light. Our camera quality is not currently good at this current moment, but we're working, like I said, with what we have. So if anyone could just hop on the comments and actually give us a few suggestions based on maybe like a budget of 500, what we could do about our lighting, because I know how important that is as well, especially in the late evenings, and also what we can do about the sound, which is something that we are also trying to make sure that we work on, as the emphasis of making sure that the people can be able to hear us quite well. But like I said, the reasons why I love the current state of mind so much is that it gives me an opportunity to just surface around what I have been experiencing of lately. And to be quite honest, I always talk about how lesson ridden this year is, man, but this year has just been filled with lessons all around, man. I know I sound like a broken record, man, but I just want everyone who's going to be listening to this, and I think we can all relate that one thing we all have in common as people is the fact that we are always enduring struggle. And the one beautiful thing that I always admire about struggle is that it's always going to be a guarantee, and it's a matter of you being able to withstand each and every level of struggle that you are going to be faced with. The reason why I emphasize this is because I started this year off very hurt, in fact, because of a lot of personal things that were happening in my life. And you know, where you get to a point where you start to doubt everything that you've started, but you didn't see the amount of energy that you were putting into something and how it got you to the place that you are right now, and how you can't take for granted what you've started and how you have to continue and do it over again, refine it. And I saw my circle of accountability. First of all, shout out to Lubabalu Chad Msipa, Pongoletu Maholwana, Sungula Sitikiana. These are very important people in my inner circle. And today I got an opportunity just to make them aware of the positive and also like very impactful part that I play in my life. And it's not just about them contributing towards the show as well, because this is a personal diary, but for them to take the opportunity to share their knowledge, to share their experience. I know in a sense, it is very hard for us as young men to find spaces where we can be vulnerable and talk about what we're going through without having to feel like what we are saying is going to change, or maybe have an impact in terms of how people see us. And that's one of the things that I want each and everyone to take away from this, that it is your responsibility to tell your story. Because the moment you take control of the pen, the moment you become the main protagonist, the moment you take responsibility for every good and bad thing that happens to you, is the moment you decide to assume the power. And you can only assume that power if you acknowledge that it does exist. Too many of us, we give away the power in thinking, oh, I'm destined to be this, but also that is a choice of its own. So I also want to take an opportunity. Earlier in the season of season 7, I had my former high school teacher in Miss Fadele. Um, she sent me a couple of voice notes, and what she was going through at that time, I couldn't be able to understand, first of all. I don't want to lie. I can never be able to put myself in someone else's shoes and think, oh, I know what you're going through. Oh, I know what you're going through. The truth of the matter is, we can only imagine what someone else is going through. But the fact that she chose to be vulnerable on those voice notes, and I asked her permission if I could be able to upload those voice notes as one of the episodes and have her on my show so that she can make other people listen, but not just other people listen, but also for me to document, because she reached out to me on social media and she admired the good work that I was putting out there. And it takes so much courage. We don't understand how courageous it is for us to get out of our own way and actually get to let the next person know. Um, um, I, I I was listening to your content, and this and this struck with me, and it's something that I can be able to take away from you. But never mind. I always say to her, I don't mind you crying, but you cannot mimic or duplicate what you were feeling at that moment, which is you were projecting what you were going through at that time. And I just want you to realize the important role that you played in our lives as you students. Things start to only make sense sometimes years later on, when we find ourselves in positions where we didn't even think we were going to be in. Remember, we were your little kids, uh, Ms. Fidele, and right now we are fathers, we are mothers to our own kids. We are wives, we are husbands, we are partners, we are brothers, we are sisters, we are role models, we are we are all of these roles that we have assumed, and you always reminded us that, guys, be very wary that you are going to go through struggle, but not in those not in those words. Sorry for that. Not in those words, but in a sense, you cared about us not becoming kids for such a long period, and that adulthood would come. And when adulthood came, obviously
some of us are gonna have to make choices, and I made the choice first of all to write my story, to become a very formidable force in becoming the future version of myself, in which I never thought was quite possible. And throughout this journey, one thing I've actually admired and also acknowledged is the fact that you cannot wish it into existence. You need to work it into existence. Too many of us think that it's going to happen because we feel some kind of way or we want to wish it. Prayer alone doesn't help, guys. I pray too. Sometimes I doubt the higher power. I'm like, why am I doing this? Why is there nothing changing? And yet I fail to go and remind myself that the same power that he has is the same power that invested in me. And I made this a reality. I created everything that you're seeing in front of you. I even made the decision to say, I don't care how this picture looks. I am going to take this video, I'm going to record this content, and I am going to put my voice out there. Someone is going to hear this, and it's going to make an impact in their life, because I'm also trying to motivate myself with the struggle that I'm faced with. So within everything that you are faced with, nothing is going to stay. Nothing is going to be permanent. Like, we did not come here to suffer. Remember, we suffer more in the mental more than we actually suffer in reality, because we don't understand the power of our thoughts, the power of God that we possess. So I'm not a religious person. I don't want you to see this as a sermon. I don't want you to see this as, oh, all of a sudden he is contradicting himself. Sometimes he talks about he don't believe in this, he don't believe in that, he don't believe in this. We are not focused on doing what works for us. To me, as long as you are passionate about what you believe in, and if it works for you, go ahead, do it for you. And I respect indifferences in people. We are not meant to be the same. We are actually meant to be different. You were born an original, a hybrid, and you cannot be replaced. So if you are going to try to live like someone else, if you're going to try to compare yourself to someone who you're only seeing a tiny speck of their lives, you don't see the entire picture. You're only seeing the tiny speck in which they show you. You can depress yourself. You can end up taking your own life based on something that you did not have enough information. So do me this favor. When someone tells you something that you're not sure of, take a breather. Take a moment. Do a fact check. Is what this person saying true? Because we don't realize that people are only projecting themselves onto you. To me, I always say, it so happened that I was holding the mirror. I must not take personally what you said to me, because if I take it personally, it means I believe that you and what you are saying is actually true, which is not true. Are you going to go on the street and believe everything that everybody and everyone says about you, and yet you know what you're capable of? You know that you're good. You know that you're capable. You know that in order for you to get to B, you need to start at A. You need to start small. Start with nothing. Start with less. Start with this camera. Start with no mic. Consistency breeds competence. You cannot be competent if you're not consistent. This is me talking to myself. Thando, you need to do better. Thando, you need to go all in. You need to zone out. And my best friend today, we had this chat about breakups are always going to be a catalyst to great things. And he says, as an artist, I always listen to these artists saying, I went through this changed me. And when this happened to me, this made me become so serious about, I need to take this shit seriously. You need to take yourself seriously. If you want people to take you seriously, take yourself seriously. Put the blame on you. You are not where you want to be because of you. Don't put that on nobody. Nobody owes you anything, Thando. You owe yourself your success, and you are going to have to suffer for it. You are going to have to knock on those doors. You are going to have to take rejection. You are going to get criticism. You are going to get judged. But the most important thing is, it's all on you. And my friend, he reminds me, it's all in the mind, man. It's all in the mind. Remember, when there is no enemy within, there is no enemy without that you will fear. Once you've defeated the complacent, the doubting you, no one on the outside can tell you who you are. So stop validating yourself by what other people think of you. You're already great. God already made you great. But now it's time for you to get to work, bro. You need to fucking work this into existence. Ain't nobody gonna do it for you. You think people owe you favors? They owe you connections? Have you seen what they've suffered to get what they want? And you think you're entitled to that? People must stop wanting work and benefits that they did not put any work for. Like, how you gonna live the lavish life if you didn't work for it? And remember, lavish is a perspective. Let me tell you something. I'm winning. Why am I saying I'm winning? Because I decided I'm going to make this. I decided I'm going to project myself. I am looking at you, watching this. You need to go and watch you. Go back to you. Create that relationship with you. Because you know what? At the end of the day, you are still on the winning side. You came with nothing. You're going to leave with nothing. So you might as well make the space between the time you were born and the time you will die the most treasured, the most honorable. Share your love. Show your love. You are here to beam and be a beaming of love, man. There's nothing more beautiful than love, bro. Shout out to my daughter, Lingomso Barnes. I love you, my queen. You came into my life at a time where I needed healing. Sometimes I might not take a moment and look at you and see what bundle of joy and prosperity and happiness that you are. And baby, I want you to go back and listen to what I'm saying right now. Your father loves you with all his being. I'll go to the end of the world to see you happy. Seeing you smile is the most precious thing. I know you're going to not stay young forever, my child. But when you go back on this video, you look at your daddy's humble beginnings. You see, I'm in a shack. My first property. I cannot be blessed with an estate if I cannot be able to handle this. I want to thank Shiva for blessing me with this. And I want you to not be ashamed of where you came from. Not be ashamed of who your father is. There are going to be people going to try to twist you otherwise and said, look at him thinking he is that person. I am who I think I am. I don't need you to validate me. But baby, your father is great. I want to tell you, you're also great, my love. You come from greatness. Your grandmother, Thando Nkonyana, greatness. Greatness. That is my mother. The woman who was chosen to be my mother, and I will choose her in another lifetime. As you grow older, you're going to learn things from me and from your aunts, from your uncles and all your other siblings about who your mom was. Your grandmother, I mean. My mom. Such an amazing soul. Value driven. Went to the ends of the world to make sure that our kids are happy. And that's every parent's responsibility. I want you, first of all, don't become what you think I want you to become. Baby, I want you to choose who you want to be. And if that makes you happy, Daddy is going to support you all throughout the way. Because I want you to make a living. I want you to make a life, most importantly, out of the decisions that you have made. I want you to become endless possibilities. And Joshua Maponga always reminds me, you are not this, you are this and that. Let no one tell you you can only do this. Why not that? Why not this? Why not that? You can be many things, my child. Anything that you set your mind on and you persistence and you persevere about it, you can become it. And that comes from your daddy. I'm going to be there every single stage. And the Almighty will keep me. You keep on seeing me. You will even have people that are impacted in my life, in your life, who are going to remind you how important your dad is, not just to you, but to the world. God embedded and gifted in you, my love. I have a feeling and I have a surety that you will make a success out of your life. You will live a fulfilled life, not under my shadow, but I'm going to help you throughout the journey, my child. Right now, Daddy is grinding to make sure that you'll get better. Everything is for you, my love. Everything and anything that I'm doing is for you, my love. So Daddy loves you. He appreciates you. And he's so thankful that you are his daughter. But don't forget you have other family members. You have yourself to make proud. So you are the reason why I get up every morning. Sometimes I forget that reason. But then I think about, I always used to look forward to seeing you, looking you in the eye. And you are growing up so quickly right now. As I'm recording this, you are 3 years old. In February, which is in under 2 months' time, you're going to be 4 years old. And even if you get to watch this in the future, I don't want you to feel embarrassed. Instead, I want you to be proud. You come from greatness. Daddy loves you. Daddy appreciates you. Daddy would go to the end of the world to make sure that you succeed. Fatherhood is so important to me through all the fathers out there, young fathers, old fathers, all fathers, in fact. Our kids need us now more than ever. There is nothing more beautiful than present parents. Partnership. We know that we have to surface this world full of mayhem, difficulty. There are things that when we look at them, we're like, is this the reality that we currently live in now? Is this how things are going to become? We keep on chasing things that are not going to bring us fulfillment. And at the end of the day, these things leaves us empty. And Nwabi Samkobo made a very valid point in season 7 about we are pumping so much negativity into the world. That's why the world is so dark. So for the fact that I've created this platform that has allowed her to be vulnerable, safe space, to talk about what I'm going through, to think otherwise, to inspire myself. Beautiful. Thando, you're changing lives, bro. Your work echoes. As I record this episode, our show grew 225% in 2024. I want you to remember growth even if it's one person that you grew by. But it matters. It matters. In Australia, they're listening to us. In the UK, they're listening to us. That's the United Kingdom. In the US, in South Africa, in all these 22 countries in which the audio podcast was listened to. But now we're on another level. Right now, we're in video, baby. You are seeing the man behind it in full video. How about that? Who am I trying to become better than other than myself? The only person I'm trying to be better than is who I was last year. I need to work harder than who I was the previous year. And as this 2024 comes to an end, I want you to go easy on yourself. It's fine if you have survived this year, but you've made it this far. But it shouldn't take a new year for you to decide, you know what? I'm going to stop surviving. I'm going to start living. I'm going to start going for what I want. I'm going to start shooting my shot. You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. You need to go and shoot that shot. An opportunity you've been wanting to take, I think it's that time. That thing that you've been doubting yourself about, I think it's that time. Everything and anything right now, you have nothing to lose. You got nothing to lose. We don't believe in losses here, we believe in lessons. I did not lose. I gained lessons. And remember, we don't grow. We don't evolve without mistakes. We don't evolve without turmoil, without struggle, without tribulations. We don't evolve. Did you think this life was all going to be roses? Whoever said that to you lied to you. From this day onwards, the lies must stop. The complacency must stop. Start going back to how you started this. Look at where it is right now. And look at how you've made an impact. It ripples effect. People don't understand the power of the algorithm. The algorithm is so powerful, guys. So powerful, man. In ways that we can't even imagine. But because we are so ignorant of the power of this technology, shout out to Romeo XX. Can't wait to have you on the video show, bro. For us to continue that conversation, bro. Shout out to Boss Hustle. Man, I can mention a lot of names right now, bro, but thank you for everyone who's been on the show, spitting that knowledge, spitting that real, man. And thank you for allowing me to make it happen. Thank you. I know a lot of this, what we are doing, it's new, man, to ourselves, first of all. People don't realize sometimes we go back and we doubt ourselves. Doubt comes into our mind. But remember, we need to train this muscle. The brain is a muscle. And I always refer to the brain being fertile soil. And whatever you plant in, bullshit stays in. And then you open your mouth and then you tell the world who you are. Stop consuming bullshit. Stop doubting yourself. Success breeds confidence, and confidence breeds success. Be successful. Be who you are meant to be. Take the L's, man. Be good at being a loser. This year, I just need to be a good loser in 2025, guys. 2025, I want to take all the losses, man. Because the losses come with the lessons. I want to thank my younger self for starting this. 2021, 1st December, the podcast turned 3 years old. Is it 3 years? Or is it 4 years? You see? I've lost track. 1st December, Motivational Maniac was a year older. And we tracked the journey. First 2 years, nobody was listening. We actually 4 years, 2020. December 1st, 2020 is our very first episode, opening episode. What to expect from the podcast. Welcome to Motivational Maniac Podcast. I go by the name of Thando Nkonyana, and walk with me through the concrete jungle. Oh, I remember that early morning, sitting with that diary entry, starting the revolution that we have right now. I know it might seem like it took a lot. 8 seasons, man, for us to go video. Shit. But here we are right now. Here we are right now, and in doing this, we're manifesting, man. We're manifesting right here. That's what we're doing. Just need to double check again. We're still all right. Manifesting. And what does manifesting mean? It means that we take responsibility. What we put out there, it's going to come back to us. It's going to come back. What you put out there, it's going to come back. The universe is listening. Make sure you're planting seeds of prosperity. Make sure you're planting seeds of possibility. Make sure that you become kind to the next person that you meet. You might be going through the most, but it doesn't cost you anything to be kind. It doesn't cost you anything to put a smile on your face. Sometimes we wear our problems on our face and we think we are so special. You're not. You're not the only one who's going through something. But you don't understand how your words can impact someone else, change someone's life, have an impact on them, have an impact on you as well. I'm going to be the best. I am the best. Watch me now. Watch me fail to my success. Watch me become who I was destined to be. You are going to be a witness of this. You are going to be a witness of greatness. The man who has the responsibility to change generational curses. God damn. Who won't stop me other than me? The only person who is in my way is myself. Nobody else. You look to your left. Someone doing better than you. You look to your right. Someone wishes to be in your position. Someone wishes to have what you have. Hello, world. If you don't know, now you know. I am Thando Nkonyana, the best motivational speaker. I come from the dusty streets of Gugulethu to Cape Town, all the way from South Africa. And I'm saying, you will know about me. You will know about me. You'll realize that you have been sleeping on greatness. What doesn't grow me doesn't own me. This is the end of this current state of mind. Thank you so much to everyone who's tuned in onto this episode. Do the relevant by liking, subscribing, and also commenting on this episode. It's been an honor and a privilege, and I do thank the higher power for giving me the honor of being here today. Like Miss Henry, shout out to my accounting teacher in high school, always said every day, today is the day that you will never ever have. Don't forget that you are making history. Today you made history, Thando. Today you made history. What you're recording right now will live in the world. It will stay on the internet. And it will be able to be witnessed. I love and appreciate you, young man. Keep on keeping on. Remember, the only competition is that man in the mirror. As the motivational maniac, I'm signing out. Thank you for tuning into this episode once again. Highly appreciate for those
who are tuned in. Like I said, do the necessary like, subscribe. Also find this on Galo 7 Media YouTube channel page. We are also on Spotify. You can watch this podcast on Spotify as well. You can either do that in video or you can do that in audio form. Whatever would be your preferred method. And for us to prosper and become even further and further from where we are, for us to get to other streams of podcast, and for us to learn, man. Just put your head down and learn so that you can become the best at what you do. That is what I aim to do. I aim to be better than who I am, but that don't mean that I can't learn from the next person. You are great. Namaste and shalom.